So in this short video, I want to basically illustrate my workflow of combining multiple files, text files, in my case, published articles. So just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So here, this is a book chapter, and then I have some other things that I basically need to combine to a habilitation. So I've got here 21 chapters. The first one is like in a more word style document that I've just written for this habilitation, and the rest is basically published articles, right? So this is the situation that you often find, especially when it comes to dissertations, for instance, habilitations, and anytime you want to really make a collection of your articles. So I'm basically recording this as a reminder for myself, because sometimes I really ponder about this question. First of all, I'm using PDFsam as the first software solution that is relevant here. So here, just click on merge, and I'm then basically dragging and dropping all those other files here into this interface. Important to briefly check order, but that is fine here. So that's of course also why I use these nice names, which I also suggest you do. Then I usually like to have like an added blank page if the page number is odd. This just feels more professional, so that you always start on the right-hand page. Also, normalizing page sizes is important, because different journals publish in slightly different formats, and by clicking this, you kind of normalize this, and this will not be the issue anymore. Then there's the question about what to do with, for instance, the bookmarks. So I usually just say, okay, create one entry for each document, and don't take those that are already saved to the documents themselves, else this will be very cluttered, right? So this is like 350 pages at the very end. I don't need bookmarks basically on every page, right? You don't need a table of contents. This is really inflexible, right? Because this is really something that doesn't look very nice. It's not very customizable, so you want to create it on your own before. That's really the better way to do this. Okay, there's nothing else here, so I'm just running this. I also do not care about the file name, because this is just the first step. Now this is how the file looks like. So 328 pages. So let me just check. So 319, the last chapter should start. So let's just test where this is right. Else I just need to recheck things. So 319, no, that's correct. So let's just pick another one. You see here, this is my table of contents, and I'll explain those page numbers in a second. So then there's 33, so let's just scroll to that one. Yes, perfectly fine. All right, so now what you see is that there's a document, and it has page numbers per chapter basically. It doesn't have any overall page numbers. So this is the next thing that I want to add, and I'm using multiple software packages here, mainly because there's not one that really does all of it in a good way, right? So PDFsam, super easy to merge and also normalize the pages. That's very important. And because the other software that we are now using cannot really do that normalization very well. I mean, there is some functionality, but PDF24, that's the thing that I use for the page numbers. So I click on page numbers here. This is just the German version, and then I drag and drop again my file. So this is just a file that was the output from PDFsam, and now I have my options here. So what you noticed is that I have those square brackets and then the page numbers. So I just thought, oh, I use this so that it's not being confused with the normal page numbers of the chapters. So I just put this in square brackets. Then I have here the font, so I'm like Open Sans, so let's use Open Sans semi-bold, so that it also, is slightly apart from the look that like what the journals use. Yeah, font size 10 is probably okay. Have it at the bottom and in the center, that's fine as well. And here probably I want to have it a bit larger distance from the lower border. That is because I want to print this, or I need to print this actually. And then 3 millimeters is borderline, and sometimes you might actually interfere with, page numbers that are already there. So this is something that I need to check. But this looks good, so I'm just running this now, I'm saving, and I'm just using my final output file here to replace. And now I'm opening this. So this is the final file, 328 pages still, but here you see the page numbers. So this is the difference, basically you see them throughout. And what I usually do is for every paper I check this, because it will not fit every time. So here you see the distance is well chosen, but with other it's probably not so much. So here I could say I need it a bit more up. I'm just going through the document and see whether it would be a problem for another paper if I moved it up a bit more. So here you see it's getting close, but 1-2 millimeters shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. So I think I would, just move it up a bit more. So here's still my dialog. I just need to replace this with 15. And I run this again, so this goes super quickly. So that's why no problem just redoing it. There's the file again. A bit higher up now. I'm just scrolling through this. Yeah, but this looks pretty good now, I would say. Yeah. So here's a, yeah, it's still not great, of course, but yeah, that's how it is, to be honest. Because I need to kind of collate all of them in one document, it's just sometimes not feasible. But in total, I think this is the process for me. I hope you found it useful. It's really standardized. I use the same process every time that I have such a problem. And yeah, if you have any questions, just post them in the comments.